My favorite clips of Dr. Gabor Mate.
If I were to choose to live my life over again, I wouldn't live it in this way. Do you know Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not personally.
No, no. The book. The end of that book would bring tears to my eyes for years. Christopher Robin has to go to school, and he's telling his friends, the toy animals, that he won't be able to play with them so much anymore. And what I wasn't aware of when I went to medical school and when I was a physician is how driven I was to justify my existence in the world. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. When you're driven to work too hard, you actually ignore what matters. And what matters is what you were telling me last night about how every summer you take a bunch of weeks away from your podcast and you just spend time enjoying your kids and your wife and your family. I didn't do that. I always felt I had to keep working. And the book ends with the statement, and whatever they do or wherever they go in the enchanted forest, the little boy and his bear will always be playing together. And that phrase would bring tears to my eyes for years. People sacrifice their playfulness, their joyfulness, being driven by unconscious needs to validate your existence. And where does that come from? Again, that comes from childhood trauma. Play is so important, and joy is so important. In that sense, we can always keep playing in the enchanted forest, and that's just essential, I think.
Every time I watch this clip, it makes me emotional because he's talking about such a beautiful, innocent feeling of childlike joy and playfulness. And it feels so sad to me that so many people lose that the older they get, myself included. I've been through periods of my life where I just lose touch of the joy and the playfulness, and our sense of self-worth begins to be so intertwined with what we produce. When did we learn that our worth must be earned? Like, look at any child. They don't have to achieve anything to be worthy, they just are. But somewhere along the line, many of us internalized a painful message, and that's that we have to produce in order to be worthy, that our value doesn't lie in our essence, but that it lies in our output and our achievements. And that's what trauma does to people. It disconnects them from their authentic selves. And so they trade spontaneity for control and joy for achievement and play for productivity. And in the end, they turn into these human doings instead of human beings. And somehow the paradox is the more they accomplish to feel worthy, the more they abandon that very part of themselves that could actually heal that wound. And that's their capacity to feel joy and playfulness.